You see this game right here? This is Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid 3 has better gameplay, visuals, and storytelling than every indie game. You see this game right here? This is Persona 5. Persona 5 has better character, storytelling, music, gameplay than the entirety of every indie game. Because the truth is that most indie games are complete shit. Cuphead is the only good indie game. Everything else is just mid or just complete garbage. So a while back, I wasted time and money playing A Hat in Time, and it was all right. I mean, it's basically just a Mario ripoff, and the game is cute. It's okay. The combat's not that good. Music's pretty forgettable, and yeah, story could have been better. I wish Mustache Girl got some more screen time in development, but screw that, I guess. But Hat in Time, it's all right. I mean, it's not enough. It's not worthy enough of me buying the DLCs, though. I don't care if the DLCs are improvements. I just don't really care for A Hat in Time at all. You know. I mean, so like from a gameplay point of view, the Hat in Time is not that good. But from an aesthetic point of view, and from a wholesome, cute point of view, yeah, it's fine. I only spent like 30 minutes playing Hollow Knight, and this game's freaking boring. And then, even worse is that, I bought Hollow Knight Soap Song, which I'm also pretty sure is boring as well. In fact, I hear Hollow Knight Soap Song's worse. But Hollow Knight is just another slop indie game that's, ooh, it's ripping off Metroid. Ooh, so special. Ooh, so deep and transparent. I don't care. And then there are games like Undertale, which looks completely garbage. Sea of Stars, that's another garbage games. Because that's the thing I notice about indie games. They either rip off Mario, rip off Chrono Trigger, or rip off Earthbound. Because indie game developers aren't that inspired. I mean, even something more niche like Psychonauts has more value than any indie game. And to me, indie game fans are basically just a bunch of stuck-up snobs who think they're better and smarter than everybody else because, oh, I don't play the mainstream games. Ooh, I'm an indie fan. Ooh, I don't play Yakuza. I don't know what a Yakuza is. Ooh, I never played Metaphor ReFantasia. Ooh, the modern game industry is dying because I don't like AAA games. Ooh, I never played Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. That precious indie game that you like, if it's not Cuphead, I'm just gonna flat out say it. It's most likely garbage. Like even the game Bully from the year 2006. Yeah, this game came out in 2006. Even this game has more attention to detail, better story, and better dialogue than every indie game. That's because games made by companies usually have more value and professionalism compared to slop indie games, which usually rely on ripping off other genres. Like Sly Cooper, that's better than your favorite indie game. Even the Spider-Man games by Insomniac are better than any indie game. The Batman Arkham games are better than every indie game. Persona 4 is better than every indie game. Indie games fucking suck. Even the Trails games are better than any indie game. Indie games are garbage. If you like indie games and you think you're special, you're probably just an immature child. You're an immature child that's never played Saints Row 2. You're an immature child that's never played Nier Automata. Indie games are just for people that I don't know, they can't afford real games. But again, the only exception I'll make when it comes to indie games would be for Cuphead. Cuphead is a genius masterpiece, masterclass experience. That's where people who appreciate animation and skill, like myself. And I played Amori. Dropped this game after 6 hours. This game is fucking boring. You can go ahead and spoil the story in the comments. I don't care. I could probably already tell the plot twist, like if Mori was dead the whole time or something like that. I invested like 17 hours in this game, and the combat is just terrible. I don't care if the story's deep or whatever. If I want to read about the story, I'll just go read the spoilers on Wikipedia. Amori is just not as good or as well written as Metro Exodus. It's not as good as Final Fantasy Tactics. Most of these indie slop enjoyers don't even know what this game is. Yeah, indie games, they're freaking terrible. And Persona 5 alone stomps on every other indie game. It's just an objective fact.